The goal of this video is to present all the benefits to the Oracle Adaptive Access Manager community of using the new AuthenWare add-on, which is a unique behavioral biometric authentication software technology based on the typing rhythm of the user. AuthenWare's authentication technology determines whether the user of a given set of credentials is who he claims to be based on the typing rhythm of the user. AuthenWare is a second-factor authentication service based on keystroke dynamics technology and a wide set of heuristics. The service is used to prevent identity thieves from successfully logging into a system with the credentials they have stolen. AuthenWare's technology constructs, stores, and evolves a personal biometric pattern based on the way a person types credential data, such as their user ID and password, into a field, including their personal typing rhythm and many more behavioral and environmental characteristics. We call this biometric pattern the AuthenWare Singularity Pattern. After a certain number of training logins in which AuthenWare learns to recognize the user's typing nuances and creates the biometric pattern, AuthenWare can be called to verify a new login and determine if the user is who he claims to be. Oracle Adaptive Access Manager allows organizations to prevent fraud and misuse by strengthening existing authentication flows, evaluating the risk of events as they happen, and providing risk-based interdiction mechanisms such as multi-factor out-of-band authentication. Intuitive policy administration and standardized integrations with the Identity and Access Management Suite components make Oracle Adaptive Access Manager uniquely flexible. The integration of AuthenWare with OAAM allows the possibility of adding biometric control to the variety of security options already available with OAAM, making the integrated AuthenWare OAAM solution an ideal authentication tool for any company. The AuthenWare integration adds three important capabilities that current and future OAAM customers can benefit from immediately. Increased security. Experts agree that from a security point of view, the ideal authentication process should combine three different authentication factors: what the user knows, such as a password; what the user has, such as a token or a cell phone; and what the user is, such as fingerprint, voice, or biometric patterns. In the past, when a customer wanted to implement a multi-factor authentication process, they ended up discounting biometrics as a useful validation technique because it usually required the purchase of extra hardware and was too expensive. But with AuthenWare, that problem is eliminated. Since it is a software-based biometric technology, it allows companies to implement a very strong and inexpensive authentication process for everyone. Increased flexibility. Companies that have implemented OAAM can use this new biometric verification feature on demand and for case-by-case situations as needed. All that an organization needs to do is to include the specific AuthenWare rule conditions to begin using this new biometric verification functionality. Total transparency. The integration of AuthenWare with OAAM is designed to fit naturally into the OAAM architecture. The goal was to make it transparent for Oracle customers. All of the code necessary to invoke the AuthenWare biometric web service methods has been implemented into standard rule conditions. The product installs quickly, and it is an easy integration for even current Oracle customers. To summarize, with AuthenWare, an Oracle user can now utilize a new biometric verification feature simply by using the AuthenWare add-on. It was specifically designed to increase the value that Oracle clients receive every day. In order to achieve this integration, AuthenWare uses features provided by OAAM which allow us to easily import new conditions from AuthenWare into the ARM, and later utilize these conditions in the available rules and models. This approach offers a natural integration of the tools, enabling the administrator to add keystroke biometrics as an additional authentication factor. To illustrate the concepts, we will show an integration example based on a login with ASA and ARM. This example consists of a set of pre-authentication rules, which show the personalized keypad for users who have chosen to configure it to enter their password, and a set of post-authentication rules which detect if the user is new to the system or if he has not yet personalized his login, and offer him the option to configure both his keypad and his security questions. Next, we will add the AuthenWare biometric control into the example. The goal is to capture the user's biometric signature, or AuthenWare singularity pattern, from the login screen and evaluate it using the post-authentication rules. Remember that the first set of signatures will form part of the biometric pattern training, which means that biometric control is not possible until the behavior pattern is completely formed. Once the training is completed, AuthenWare will be fully operational. If AuthenWare detects that the typing signature does not coincide with the user's trained pattern, the system will request the user to answer one of the security questions that were entered during the initial login process. Now we'll need to import two conditions. The first being user ready, which allows us to call the AuthenWare web service to determine if the user has already been trained. Depending on how it's configured, the service either returns true or does not return false. The other condition is validate user, which processes the signature in order to determine if it matches the user's trained pattern. This condition will only return true if the pattern has been trained and if the signature matches with the user's pattern. The next step is to create a rule for each condition, as shown in the following clip. Then, we simply include these rules in the post-authentication model. The rules should be configured so that if the user is trained, user ready equals true, and AuthenWare does not detect the signature as matching the user, validate user equals false, it will request a third method of validation, which in this case will be to require answers to the security questions originally trained by the user. We have now configured both the ASA and the ARM to work biometrically, and using the following steps, we can run a test to verify that they are functioning properly. First, enter the website http://oracle.authenware.com/ASA. In the login page, type your username. For example, the username might be Paul Smith and the password ABCD1234. Next, personalize your keypad and then train the questions as prompted by the system. At this point, if we go to the AuthenWare administration page at https://oracle.authenware.com/admin, we'll be able to see if this login was trained. For the purposes of the video, we will log out and then log in 9 more times to biometrically train the AuthenWare singularity pattern. However, it is good to mention that in real life, this exercise of training the pattern happens in a fully transparent fashion for the user, meaning they will not need to type 10 times altogether. AuthenWare OAAM will listen to the typing cadence, and after the 10th attempt, the singularity pattern will be created, and AuthenWare security will be ready to be enforced within OAAM. Going back to the administration page will show us if the training logins were processed. The 10 logins we performed before were part of AuthenWare's biometric pattern training. From this point forward, all future logins will be controlled by AuthenWare. To test this, we'll log in again as the first non-training login. Checking the administration page, we can see by the green circle that the login was controlled by AuthenWare. As a further test, type your username purposely using a different typing rhythm. Now enter the password. At this point, the system should request that you answer a security question because your typing rhythm did not match the pattern you trained. Once more, we can look at the administration page to check that the login was rejected by AuthenWare. The combination of AuthenWare with Oracle Adaptive Access Manager provides companies with flexible, strong authentication capabilities to help ensure that users are appropriately validated and secured at all times.